The following episode of the Maui Chamber of Commerce's Business Matters radio show was originally broadcast on June 15th, 2021.
Aloha and welcome to the Maui Chamber of Commerce's Business Matters radio show, sponsored by Mokulele Airlines and Sherry Reeve Gallery and Gifts. I am your host, Pamela Tumbot, president of the Maui Chamber of Commerce. Today we're going to cover top priorities of the County Council and hear about the Imi Pono project. We're going to learn about challenges Lana'i Island has experienced and possible solutions, and hear from a husband and wife operation with a company called Te Hotu Mano. So today, I'd like to begin the show and welcome Maui County Council Chair Alice Lee. Chair Lee holds the County Council seat for the Wailuku, Waihee, and Waikapu residency area. Prior, Chair Lee served for 10 years on the County Council from 1989 to 1999 and served as the former Director of Housing and Human Concerns from 1999 to 2006, meaning she knows a lot about affordable housing and rentals. She has advocated for many key initiatives affecting the quality of life on Maui. Aloha and welcome, Chair Lee, to the show.
Good morning, Pam. Let me excuse me. Let me share the word of the day.
Oh, please.
That I'll be sharing with the council members at our PSLU. That's the Planning Sustainable Land Use Committee. As you probably know, every committee meeting, every council meeting, I share a new greeting in a different language. And so today's greeting is Sano, S-A-N-O, Sano, and it's an informal greeting in Mongolia. So Sano to you and all of those listening out there.
Sano to you as well. And, you know, I love these greetings that you started. It's so much fun because we're learning about different parts of the world and different greetings. And, you know, we have such a diverse population here that we know all of our local greetings, but it's great to learn from all across the world. I think that was such a cool idea that you started.
Well, thank you. As you know, we are a melting pot in the world, right?
Yes.
So we have all kinds of people from all kinds of different countries that come here to live, to visit, etc. And I just thought it'd be nice, so like one day somebody from Mongolia visiting Maui will hear, right. Oh, I heard that on the radio. I heard the greeting on the radio. So I just thought we represent everybody, not just one segment of the population, not just one group of people.
That's right.
And I just wanted that understanding to be out there so that people feel welcomed and that people feel included.
You know,
so how are you doing, Pam?
I'm doing great. I had a little snag of traffic this morning, so I was wondering if I was going to actually get into the studio in time. But I just by the nick of my chinny chin chin, as my grandma used to say, I made it in.
Oh, great.
But it's a beautiful day here in Maui, so you can't wait. It's so many wonderful things going on. And, you know, Alice, on the council level, so many amazing things are happening at the council, and a lot of bills are coming forward. Can you share with our listening audience some of the top priorities that you have and the council has for our county?
Well, honestly, if you talk to 9 different council members, you probably hear 9 different sets of priorities. But I think we can all agree that economic recovery is uppermost in our minds. Of course, first and foremost, it would be public health and safety.
Yes.
But that seems to be moving along fairly well. People are getting vaccinated, and we want to encourage them, those who have not had a chance to get their shots, to please make appointments to get their shots, because we need to reach a higher level of herd immunity, and in order to be safe, not only for ourselves, but for our children, our family, our neighbors. So we need to all participate and cooperate in that regard. So public health and safety is always the top priority.
Right.
But secondly, it would be economic recovery because we still have a fairly high rate of unemployment. Most of those jobs, however, are related to the visitor industry. And this is one reason why we have a moratorium that passed. The first moratorium, we have two moratorium bills, as you know, and the first one deals with South Maui and West Maui, and it's a 2-year moratorium. And the idea is that it'll give us time to figure out ways to deal with the visitor industry. But I personally don't support that, a moratorium. I've always felt that moratoria are generally reserved for extreme situations where there's a crisis of some type, an imminent crisis, not an ongoing crisis.
Right.
Because after this moratorium is over, we'll still have the crisis of too many visitors. So to me, the urgency is to find solutions, good solutions, right now, and not have to call for a moratorium. So that is moving. That will be, it'll be going to the mayor for signature. I'm not sure what he's planning to do. And then we have a second moratorium bill that has to do with the entire island of Maui. The first one is more climate change related, vis-a-vis the tourists, and the second one is more related to it's not quite climate change. It's other things having to do with the Maui Island Plan and other benchmarks that we have in the county. But again, I think though, with the second moratorium bill, Vice Chair Rollins Fernandez is eager to find solutions. So her 2-year moratorium is probably not going to last very long because she's going to put a take together really quickly and delve into the problem as fast as she can so that she can come up with legislation, at least 5 pieces of legislation to address the issue of over-reliance on the visitor industry because, without question, although it's our main economic driver, it's also driving us crazy because those of us who live here, are overwhelmed with the traffic, overwhelmed with the intrusion in our neighborhoods, overwhelmed in the special cultural sites and areas that we have on Maui. I mean, look what's happening in Hana.
Yes.
And I, as a result, feel, maybe it is time to look at a toll charge for those going to Hana, and or a reservation system,
right? Because
those roads are just too small. It can't handle, 2 million people a year. It just can't.
Right.
So it's really robbing the residents there of privacy and what they're entitled to peaceful neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So
and they're unmanaged often.
We seriously have to look at that. It's not that we don't want any tourists.
Right.
Of course we want some tourists, but we just have to figure out a better balance. And maybe, I hate to put it this way, but maybe not attract the bargain basement types, and try to attract those kinds of tourists who are going to be more mindful and more respectful of our environment here and the sensitive areas and the cultural areas, etc., and see if they can't, have a better experience that way.
Yes.
I
agree.
To, assimilate into the community instead of trample the community. So anyway, that is a ongoing challenge, and we're trying to get as many ideas as possible for those who may have some good suggestions on how we address this. But we are moving in that direction. We are looking at possible tolls, possible reservation systems, and all those kinds of things. I don't know if we have to go as far as trying to limit airline seats, but we already are trying to limit rent-a-cars and encourage hotels to develop shuttle systems, and if they have some in place already, to expand them so that we can confine, the excess traffic. A lot of times, what we like about the hotels is those hotels have designated areas, resort areas, versus the short-term rentals. They're just all over the place.
Right.
So that's another thing that we may have to look at is restricting the short-term rentals.
Yeah. And
especially the illegal ones that have really disrupted our economy. So so we're talking about public health and safety, economic recovery, managing tourism, maintaining a strong fiscal position, which we, are trying to follow our predecessors who've done a great job of keeping our credit rating very high,
mm-hmm.
and we don't want to disturb that at all. If anything, we want to strengthen it. So we're also trying to diversify our economy, our revenue base, trying to strike a balance, as I said, with our visitor industry and other economic activities. We've given strong support and will continue to support our agriculture industry, our new budding agriculture industry, and food security.
Yep.
Hopefully we can help grow our film industry. And another area I really would like to delve into is to support green jobs.
Yes.
We need to explore the potential of green jobs, and whatever is a good fit for Maui, we need to get behind it as much as we can. So essentially those are my top priorities, and some of the members, I hate to speak for them because I know I don't in many cases. So
that's fair. and I'm sure
people might ask, well, what about the homeless problem? What about the affordable housing problem? Those, to me, are sort of man-made problems that require funding, lots of funding.
Yes.
And in order to have lots of funding, you have to have a strong economic base and strong revenue base. So if we can work on making sure that we have the money flowing in consistently and in a stable way, then we can use some of that money to address affordable housing, to address the homeless.
Right.
We have been very fortunate that the state has infused millions of dollars into our economy here in Maui County for various infrastructure projects. They're going to be helping us, in a sense, acquire the Wailuku Water Company. They're going to acquire the land for preservation, and we're going to acquire the system, which helps to complete the sale because Wailuku Water Company didn't want it bifurcated, but that's how we're going to do it. And then they're helping us with building a new sewer treatment plant in central Maui so that we can assist the Atherton project and at the same time slowly begin to phase out reliance on the Kahului wastewater facility.
Awesome.
And they're also going to help. With funding for the road. That would be the bypass road, so that coming on Honoapi'ilani Highway by the Maui Plantation, you would bypass Wailuku Town and then connect to, I believe it's Waiko Road. So we have some very big infrastructure projects coming up, which will shore up our construction industry, which will be very helpful. So the idea is to make sure that we have all our ducks in order before we try to reduce the number of visitors coming to Maui.
Right.
Because we have to make sure that other aspects and other components of our economy are doing well. And lucky for us, knock on wood, it'll continue that way. So it's we have a lot to look forward to. We are very fortunate to have the resources we have, and so we're hoping to keep everything on track as is, and as we move into the future together.
I think that was very well said. Alice, one of the things that's happening is, and I'm so glad that, unfortunately with the Keani Rollins bill on the moratorium, I wish the TIG had come before the moratorium, but, be that as it may, she's looking to propose a moratorium and then a temporary investigative group. One of the things that we're finding in the community is that there's a lot of people giving testimony, and that's great. I mean, we want to see more testimony and, be able to have a discussion on that. But the challenge is we're not really getting into group discussions. Council members are getting to hear the testimony. Sometimes they ask questions, but we don't get to ask questions of each other or go into more depth than maybe the testimony and ferret out some of these issues. So I love the idea of TIGs. How can we start bringing the community together on these really big issues that we're trying to address?
Well, as you know, COVID forced us into a situation where we rely on virtual meetings. But on the plus side of that, we have, of course, we have our usual contingent of testifiers.
Yes.
But we also have many more new ones.
It's been great,
and
yeah.
That's because they don't have to drive to the county building, circle the block looking for parking, and then come up to the 8th floor, and then if the meeting is going long, run down to their cars and move it. All of that inconvenience, yeah?
Yeah.
So we have people now who are like, we have some really unusual circumstances. We have had testifiers from, homeless people in their encampments testifying, from the beaches.
Yeah, it's
and
awesome.
then we had a jogger on Lana'i who stopped jogging, said his piece, and then kept jogging again. We have people in their garages, in their patios, in their yards, all over the place. And so the more we make it more convenient for people, the more people will start to participate. And this is what we want to encourage. We also want to encourage, I always encourage the members to hold town meetings, because that's another way to reach out. I myself don't have that kind of time, the luxury of time, because people don't realize being the council chair, you are the administrator, you are the presiding officer of the legislative branch, which means that I oversee about 50 employees, not to mention all the council members and their staffs. So that brings the number up closer to 90 people. Yeah. So I'm, last year I signed 2,000 documents, and that's just signing documents. so it's very time consuming. People don't realize how much it's like a department head, And,
it really is.
You're dealing with personnel issues and all the issues any department goes through. So I don't have that as much time as some of the members do for town hall meetings, etc. So what I do is I try to do surveys,
and
that's how Actually, Imi Pono started, but one of
Well,
the latest ones that I'm doing is this survey developed by Broadband Hui,
uh-huh.
this statewide consortium of business organizations, etc. And and in my press release, I mentioned that digital communication tools have never been more crucial to the way we work and learn and live. And um, not everyone, unfortunately, in our community has that same access
Right.
to digital tools and services. So this is something I, as an individual, uh, along with the general support of the council, will be pursuing is to get broadband connectivity improvements so that everybody, well, more people can have access to participating. And that is one definite way of bringing the community together, is the more you give them opportunities to participate, the more they will, because it is much more convenient. I mean, think about it. You can be at home, and if it's not your turn to testify, you can run a load of laundry. You know, you can be
You can get something else done,
cooking dinner.
absolutely.
Yeah, as opposed to sitting in the chamber all day long waiting for your turn.
That's right.
So you can get so much more done at home or wherever you are. And then secondly, you know, another thing I try to do besides more civic engagement and participation is, which by the way all the members try to do too. It's not only me, but as the chair of the council, I really work at trying to keep maintain a good tone and tenor
Yes.
in our discussions.
Yeah, that's really important.
I try really hard to discourage infighting and any kind of shouting or uncivil behavior. And for the most part, I think we've managed to accomplish that. And then also, so I really try to encourage showing respect for everybody, even though we don't agree. Half the time we don't agree with each other. And then
But we can be
the
respectful.
and the other component is having a good working relationship with the administration.
Yes.
I think most of the members have a good relationship, not always with the mayor, let's face it, but with the department heads
Yes.
and some of the division heads, and that is really important to keep that on a professional level, on a friendly level, and that's how people accomplish things in government. You can't be fighting all the time and get things done, because it doesn't work.
That's so true. We've actually gone overtime, but and I've got another guest that's coming on, but I did want to have you mention really quickly about the Imi Pono project.
Oh, okay. So the Imi Pono project, we want to thank you very much for taking that over with MEO. We think that you're doing an excellent job. You're going to take it to a different level because you have way more resources than we have in terms of helping the current students and those winners and setting the stage for the next contest. And we really want to thank the Chamber for wanting to be mentors to these young entrepreneurs. And we wish you all the luck, and we also any support we can give to help you in the next phase of this. And although we started it was an interesting start because we didn't realize how hard it was to penetrate the DOE.
Yeah.
So
you paved the way, absolutely.
Well, you don't just contact the school. That
Right.
doesn't work. You have to go through the main administration, and then they have certain people assigned to do these kinds of things. So you have to get their approval first.
Right.
But before you get their approval, you have to reach them, and that's not easy, especially during COVID.
Yeah.
But again, Pam, we really appreciate what you've done. you know for a fact that the kids are our future, and the winners of the first Imipono contest were exceptional. So your challenge is to find another group of exceptional winners and help those move forward, because they, as you saw, are very enthusiastic.
They are.
You know, and it's amazing how impressive these young people are and how astute they are regarding the important issues in our community. So
Absolutely, and we're very
tremendous success
excited.
with taking this over. And again, our help is there if you need it anytime.
Well, we deeply appreciate your leadership in this and all of the council's efforts, and we are so excited. And now we're working on the internship program, and we're going to be matching them with amazing businesses. Some want to participate, some don't, but that's okay. And we're going to create a video and showcase the fun that they had with internship projects to take their programs to the next level. Alice, it's been so great to have you on. Thank you so much for sharing these important county priorities and how you're uniting and bringing people together. I will bring you on again very soon because we can talk forever. Okay. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
You too.
Aloha.
You're
That's
welcome.
Chair Alice Lee of our Maui County Council. We're going to take a quick break. This show is sponsored by Mokulele Airlines. Mokulele Airlines operates the largest commuter airline hub in the country, right here in Kahului. Fly Mokulele from Kahului to Molokai, Lana'i, Hana, Waimea, Kona, and now Hilo. Mokulele also operates the only flights between Kapalua and Honolulu. There is never a middle seat on Mokulele, and every seat has a window and aisle. Visit mokuleleairlines.com and take your next flight from the newly renovated Mokulele Terminal. All right, we're back, and we are now going to welcome Chair of the Lana'i Chamber of Commerce, Cindylou Figuerres. Cindy was born and raised on Lana'i Island and has a passion to serve her community. She has been the Lana'i Chamber of Commerce board since 2015 and has served as treasurer until she was voted to serve as chair in 2020. Aloha, Cindylou. Welcome to our show.
Aloha, Pam. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. We're so glad to have you on. You know, we keep hearing about so many changes on Lana'i, and of course, through COVID, you folks experienced many challenges like we did, but in your island, many of those challenges were more extreme. Can you share a little bit about what's been happening on Lana'i through COVID?
Well, for Lana'i, with COVID, fortunately, the owner was able to supplement a lot of the employees' pay. So even though we were shut down and closed, our residents were being paid. Majority of the residents were being paid.
Nice.
It was up until end of let's say last quarter of the year where there was a month where everybody was unemployed. So we went from a 1% unemployment rate and skyrocketed up to 25%. Mm-hmm. So that's where everybody was feeling it. And from March until October, we were COVID-free. So when we actually had our first case, we went from 1 to 160 within a week or two.
Right.
And, we were all over the news. But within 2 weeks from that time, we brought it back to zero and to barely nothing until now. So we really were faced with a lot of different, totally something different, from not having it for months and then finally having it. We did see a lot of the community come together and the families come together to, basically bring it down to zero. Businesses, small businesses were suffering because, we were shut down. We were on lockdown. We didn't have any travelers coming in and out. And, with residents not working, a lot of people don't want to spend the money.
Right.
And but let's say in November, tourism did come back, and now we're actually hoping it is now coming back to a new norm.
Great.
And we want to see the county open more so that we can increase our capacities, especially in the restaurants, so we can get to we get to have more visitors come in. So it is with COVID, though, it was a good thing with the community where we had town hall meetings. We even had the CDC come over to Lana'i to help and talk with small businesses on how to keep our employees and our patrons safe.
Yeah. You guys did an excellent job. I mean, like you said, a big spike, but clearly everybody united, and that really was amazing to see, and shows us all, right? You helped set a great example. Look, we went from 0 to ramp up. We got 1, and then it ramped up to this big number, and then you've maintained that 0 status, which is phenomenal.
Thank you. There was, it took the whole village.
It does, but you know that's the beauty of Lana'i is you guys band together in such a strong way in your community. So, what would you say is the key to your success, or what lessons did you learn in that you feel will help carry the island forward and as you move toward future planning?
It is bringing the community together. So we had public sector, private sector, nonprofits, and the small businesses all come together and have a unified front. And this is actually the most, I want to say that the county and even state government came to our aid, and we actually had at one point every week, I think, town meeting on Zoom, and it was great. It kept everyone informed of what's going on, how to stay safe, how to continue being safe. And it was just bringing everybody together. And it was amazing to see how many people around the state came to Lana'i's aid. And I also work for the Lana'i Community Health Center. So we had an influx of donations from everywhere to provide food, PPE, and whatnot to the community. And it was very heartwarming to see that, and it is a blessing to have everybody, come to the table to offer what services they can.
I'm so glad to hear you folks unite in such a strong way, but I'm glad to hear that you got a lot of outside support as well, because I always refer back to, for the Chamber of Commerce when we had the Great Recession in 2008. There just wasn't a lot of aid, and we were still very disconnected. There wasn't federal programs, and so many struggled. And through COVID, it seems that not only did we get federal programs to help, and there was a lot more aid and resources, with this health crisis, it's changed the way we all work together. And like you said, Lana'i is now getting a lot of support statewide, which is phenomenal, really. So in terms of, as you folks are now looking to open up more and get more traffic in the restaurants, where do you see that coming from? I mean, aside from opening up restrictions, are you looking for more neighbor island travel to Lana'i? Are you looking to see expanded markets, domestic and international, come to Lana'i? What are you folks planning for, and how are the small businesses feeling?
So on the big scale, the Four Seasons and Sensei resorts, they have their airline, Lana'i Air, and as they continue to run according to county guidelines, they are at a certain capacity for rooms and restaurants. We do see a lot of people already coming in, but as the county opens up more, we'll see more guests come in, and I'm not sure if their Lana'i Air can handle that number of travelers. And for us right now, the challenge is we have only Mokulele Airlines, which is great. They come 5 times a day, and more between the morning and the evening times. But I want to say that we still need more. So I'm glad that they're gonna bring in a bigger plane, and then we also have a lot of transportation on the expeditions.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they have limited ferry schedule and on only certain days. So we want to see that, especially for inter-island travel, open up more. So they're only traveling Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, I believe. So we're all waiting for that Sunday, Thursday to open up. And they only have 2 ferries in the morning and 2 ferries in the afternoon. So we're all, I know a lot of people travel inter-island that way. A lot of visitors from Maui that
Right.
are, just coming for the day to visit our island. Boats are full before, and I want to say I came on the 9:15 boat, one of the ferries a few weeks ago, and it was already packed. So it was nice to see a lot of people come visit. They come to the beach, and they even come up to go to the city. And then I also saw that Trilogy just started again, which brings a lot of day trippers to Lana'i as well. So we want to see more of that, that travelers come in. And it also brings a big point for our community. We were really hit hard with tourism and
Right.
the stop of it. So right now, for the chamber, we're looking at now helping to find people, our residents here, to find a way to make small business and maybe stray away from tourism. At least there's another economic driver for the city.
Oh,
The
awesome.
island.
So you're doing entrepreneurial programs and helping people get into different types of businesses to diversify,
That
which is
is the
fantastic.
goal. Yes, we would like to see that, and a lot of people with their jobs in the service industry. That goes up and down depending
Right.
on the tourism, and if they have something else to fall back on, some type of business that they have that'll strengthen our community even more.
That's awesome. Well, how can we help? How can we on Maui better assist, you as our sister island?
Well, like everyone else, we are waiting for guidelines to be a little bit less restrictive so we can get more. And I want to say the partnership that we can build with Maui Chamber and MEO and all different organizations to provide more services that, we don't really have prevalent here on the island. Like it is widely available in Maui, but we're just not aware of them here in Lana'i. So I think being able to bring that here, in person or even remote, now that we know that we can do and continue business, virtually. I think bringing those opportunities to Lana'i would be key.
Well, we can certainly help do that, and it would be our pleasure to do that. And as you point out, Zoom and this virtual world has opened up so much to us. So there's no reason that we can't all partner together and get additional services there. And it's exciting. Whenever you're spurring entrepreneurs and people in the community to look at new opportunities, that's very exciting. And Chair Lee was just on with us today talking about, the importance of economic diversification just before you. And again, this is that time. So, we want to be there to help support the entrepreneurial endeavors that you and the community of Lana'i are working on, and we're here to support. So please don't hesitate to call. But you know what I realized in this conversation is I'm going to make sure that I know you've worked with Amber of my team, but we'll set up more times for you and I to have more frequent check-ins.
Okay,
And
great.
we can
I would like to.
brainstorming. Yeah. So we can talk about that and see how we can best help.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Well, we have greatly appreciated having you on, and thank you so much for sharing all of the work that you've been doing, not only at the Lana'i Chamber of Commerce, Cindylou, but throughout your community, and of course, your work in the Lana'i Community Health Center. Thank you for just all of your tremendous efforts. We know that everybody's jobs sort of tripled during COVID. We had our regular job, and then we had everything else, trying to keep our community healthy and strong. So thank you for all of your tremendous efforts during this time.
Thank you so much, Pam, and I look forward to talking with you again and learning and growing with everyone. Thank you for having me on your show.
It's our pleasure. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thank you. Aloha. This show is sponsored by Sherry Reeve Gallery and Gifts. Sherry is a renowned watercolorist. Many of you know her, and she offers a bright array of beautiful art and gifts for every occasion, including the infamous Sherry shirts. Visit her at her gallery in historic Makawao Town. I am now pleased to welcome Tevaihani Williams, who is the owner of Hotu Mano Creations, giving a new dimension to the unique and prestigious Tahitian black pearl is their philosophy. Tevaihani has been somebody who has been participating in the Made in Maui County Festival for some time. She has often loaned me these gorgeous pearls to wear on television when we've been promoting the festival. So I'm thrilled to welcome you this morning. Aloha, how are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, it's our pleasure. We have just always loved having you involved in the Made in Maui County Festival, and you have some amazing jewelry. But can you start by telling people what Te Hotu Mana means?
Te Hotu Mana is a Tahitian word, and it means the abundant spirit.
Abundant spirit. I love that. All this time, I never knew what it means. But, as we were thinking about it for the show, I'm like, well, wait a minute. What exactly does that mean? So that's phenomenal. So abundant spirit. And I love that you're looking at really adding to the dimension of the unique and prestigious Tahitian black pearl. Everybody I know loves beautiful Tahitian black pearls. So tell us how you how this became your company. How did you start this business and make the black pearl your featured products?
So it all started as a hobby. We were living in Tahiti at the time, so Tahitian pearls were widely available around us. But 10 years ago when we started, there wasn't really any jewelry that I really liked to wear, because a lot of the Tahitian pearl pieces were very traditional and classic.
Okay.
And so it started as a hobby, and I wanted to create something more unique, something more to my taste. So we started learning about Tahitian pearls. We started adding them to our creations. In the meantime, my husband developed a passion for carving shells and pearls.
Uh-huh.
So we combined both of our ideas and created our own line of jewelry, which in the beginning we started by gifting to friends and family. And we had a lot of interest and demand, so that's how we started Te Hotu Mana.
Well, it's always wonderful. I'm sure it would be great to be one of your friends, and certainly, of course, your family member. But how nice to give such generous gifts, because these are really beautiful pieces. And it's fun to hear that you folks combined your artistic and creative interests to blend that together.
Yes. So we were really lucky. We got to... it became a real passion, learning about Tahitian pearls. There's so many different colors. There's so many different shapes. It's really fascinating. And we were very lucky to be able to learn from some of the best jewelers in Tahiti.
Nice.
So that's how we started.
It's such, I always hear, I've never been, but I always hear that Tahiti is such a warm and giving place. And that,
yes,
and people share abundantly there. So it's wonderful that you were able to learn from various artists. So what color pearls are the new vogue? I mean, what is really in vogue right now in terms of pearl colors?
What is amazing with Tahitian pearls is that although they're called Tahitian black pearls, they come in every single color from white to black and all the colors in between, really rainbow colors. And the mixture of colors is pretty much like paint. It's just there's so many different variants. What is amazing is that each pearl color is unique because the oyster creates the color naturally.
Huh.
So no two pearls are exactly the same, which make our pieces unique because all of our pearls are natural. So no pieces are exactly the same. What colors are in vogue is pretty much a preference, but all of the colors are beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely love pearls. And I know there was a period of time when it seems like a few years back that chocolate pearls were the big thing. And then it seemed like yellow pearls were really the big thing.
So Tahitian pearls, a lot of the pearls on the market that are found, like chocolates or pistachios, are dyed.
Uh-huh.
We use all natural pearls, so none of our pearls are dyed. So for us, the colors really vary a lot because none of the pearls are dyed and they're all natural colors. So there's no enhancing on any of the pearls we have. And it's really the beauty of nature that produces the colors of our pearls.
I love that.
So we personally go to Tahiti and handpick all of our pearls directly from the farmers in Tahiti, and we work with about 10 different atolls.
Uh-huh.
And each atoll, each farmer has their own touch and their own pearl colors, which is really fascinating.
Oh my gosh, that would be a great journey in video.
Yes.
I'm sure it would be a multi-hour long program, but that would be something I'd be fascinated to watch.
Yes, it is. It really is.
Now tell us where people can find your products.
You can find our products due to COVID. You can find our products online. So you can go to www.tehotumana.com. We're also on Etsy. And you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We post our latest creations, our latest releases. That's where we post our promotions. So online, as of right now, online is where to find us. Otherwise, like you mentioned before, we usually do big events like the Made in Maui County Festival, which is one of our absolute favorite events to attend.
Thank you.
When COVID gets back to normal, you can usually find us at the Made in Hawaii, at the Mare Monarch, and at various different local events.
That's awesome. We do hope to do it again. We're surveying all past vendors right now, asking for their input because we're keeping our fingers crossed that we can do a live event, and then wanting to leverage what we did last year also to expand out with the virtual, because we can bring in more buyers and hopefully more shoppers worldwide. So, we do hope to have you again in participating, and everybody just loves your gorgeous pearls. I mean, they're absolutely stunning. I know when when you loaned them to me and I would wear them on television. Sometimes when we go on television, we take little food gifts and things, and people would say, "Oh, the pearls." I'm like, "No, the pearls. These go home with me. They have to be returned." But they're really beautiful, and it's fascinating to me to learn all about how you actually go there and pre-select in all the different atolls that you're visiting and the uniqueness of each one.
Yes, we're not going to complain. It's an amazing job. We get to see these beautiful places, to pick out these beautiful pearls. We get to come back and create beautiful pieces. And we definitely miss that part of our job of meeting people and going to pick our pearls. But we know it's going to resume soon. So,
yeah. Now, how long did you live in Tahiti?
How long did we live?
We lived
in Tahiti. So my dad is from Maui, born and raised. I was born and raised here, and my mom is from Tahiti, which is why I have that connection to Tahiti. I lived in Tahiti a lot of my childhood, and recently moved back 8 years ago to Maui.
That's what a great connection. So you've got your feet in both worlds, but both stunning places to live.
Yes, I can't complain.
And tell us about your husband's carvings and what kinds of carvings does he do with the pearls?
So he carves pearls, which is a very hard, difficult process. I still don't know how he does it, because the patience required and the concentration is really high. He does it all by hand, so all of our pieces are done in-house, all done by hand. We use a lot of bigger shells that we find on the beach in Tahiti. One of them that's very popular that we use a lot is the oyster shell. So the actual oyster that the pearl comes from, we reuse it, and he hand cuts it, shapes it. We can make any shape we want and hand carves it. Usually we do Hawaiian, Polynesian traditional carvings on our pieces. So we use local shells, larger shells that are not commonly used, and we transform them into wearable pieces of art.
I just think everything is stunning, and I wish for all of you listening in that we could give you a visual, but I think that you are doing an excellent job helping people understand it, because really the pieces are stunning. And I love that you said, this began when you wanted something fresher, more unique, not as traditional as you'd seen before, created something new with your husband. And to understand that the pearls are natural, they're not dyed. Some of the things that we see, in the magazines and these different colors we see are not natural, and they've been enhanced. And you folks are doing everything by hand, reusing even the shell, and creating a Hawaii Polynesian feel. So
yes, nothing goes to waste.
Nothing goes to waste.
From the shell to the pearl, we use everything, and we transform everything so that you can have a unique piece to wear.
Well, that was perfect. Well, I want to tell everybody, Tevaihani, thank you so much for joining us today. We want you to go to Te Hotu Manu, and so let me just, it's TeHotumana, Te Hotu Mana. We want you to go to the website, check out these stunning products, and shop away. I know Father's Day is coming up, but mothers always need a special treat too. so there's something for everyone. So shop away.
Something for everybody.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate having you on.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. It was a pleasure speaking to you again, and we hope to, if we don't see you, hopefully at the next Made in Maui County Festival, we'll definitely see you around, and thank you for the opportunity.
You're very welcome. Thank you. We'll see you soon. That's all the time we have today for Business Matters, sponsored by Mokulele Airlines and Sherry Reeve Gallery and Gifts. I'm Pamela Timpot, president of the Maui Chamber of Commerce, wishing you blessings and best wishes for a beautiful Maui day. Aloha.